It's your boy PopPop. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in the beauty wood. A neighborly day in the beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I'd love to have a neighbor just like you that drinks light beer and has tattoos. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Let's make the most in a beautiful way. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Okay. I used to love watching Mr. Rogers. You know, he'd come in and he'd get out of his toxic rain gear or his biohazard suit and put on his sweater and his indoor sneakers. He had indoor sneakers and outdoor shoes, and so he put on his indoor sneakers. That took like 10 minutes right there. You know, old people, everything takes like twice the amount of time as it does normal people. And he had King Friday and Meow Meow Kitty and all the good stuff, you know, the puppets and the creepy talking trains. I think it was Thomas the Train used to freak me out. My nephew, my nephew was like 15 and used to like to watch Mr. Rogers and pick his nose or watch what was that series that the game cards were named after? You know, Pikachu and Pokachu and Talkachu and oh yeah, Pokemon. My nephew had ADHD and man, he'd sit on the chair with his legs curled under him, picking his nose, fascinated watching Pokemon, you know. He knew all of the Pokemon stuff. So we are going to talk about something tonight that I have been talking about for a long time on my channel. That's those of you that are pet kissers. You get little doggy kisses and kitty kisses from your pets. And yeah, this one guy, he puts the dog's muzzle right in his mouth like a hot dog, like and I watched his channel. He's very handsome, but he was abused and made fun of when he was young. So he's not into people. He's a dog person. But see, in my day, you didn't lie with the dog on your bed, or you didn't lie with the dog on your sofa like people do now. And I've been to people's houses where their sofa smells like anal gland. Uh, yeah. So in my day, you kept the dog outside. You built it a doghouse. You fed it. You were nice to it. All that other stuff. You were nice to it. I'm not doing a Jeffrey Tubin off of. I'm not doing Jeff Tubin off screen. When you are in bed 24/7, you have to give those legs a scrunch to keep the blood going. So every so often I reach down, give the legs a little scrunch. If you go to Wheelchair Dad's channel, he cries from the pain in his legs uh, because of the loss of circulation and stuff. So now me, I use the TENS unit that Matt Lyons sent me to shock the ever-loving crap out of my legs and juke, 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 juke the muscles. They jump. It's fascinating. You turn that sucker up with a fresh battery in it, and man, you watch those leg muscles jump. Jump, 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 like that. So thanks to Matt, thanks to Laura for sending me the diapers. Because, yeah, old PopPop been leaking more than a press release. Uh, but in my day, you kept the dog outside and you gave it a nice dog house and nice food and took it to the vet when necessary, gave it a little pet on the head. And when weather got really bad, you took it inside and put it on the inside porch, you know, and let it crap all over the newspapers and stuff like that. And that was as far as you went with the dog. You didn't watch you didn't watch a movie with the dog laying on top of you, licking you in the mouth and all that other stuff. And then 5 months later, you wonder why you got pruritus and your nose itches and your belly button itches and your butt itches and everything. That's because the parasites are hanging out and they come to full maturity and they're in your gut. They're in your guts and every place else, and they're using your body as an apartment complex. So here's a picture. That is not a fish or a barracuda. That's a very common parasite that pets carry, that people get. Uh, that's nematode ascaris. It's a very common, mean-looking worm. Nematode ascaris. And if you're one of those doggy kissers, you need to do a parasite cleanse every so often. When I lived with the crazy cat lady in Mount Airy, and we had 50 cats in the house, and she would clean out the kitty litter boxes and then make my breakfast, and there was all of this stuff floating in the air, and I got sick, she got sick. I had toxic plasmosis, and my flaky, eclectic sister with a big mouth almost cost me my life, because when I went to the hospital, because my body was shutting down from lack of nutrients, because all of the parasites were draining me dry and bleeding me dry internally. My sister told the doctor, well, he's got panic attacks and that runs in the family. That's why he's all shaky and can barely stand up and all that. So the doctor was like, okay. So they didn't do any more tests. And she almost cost me my life. So what I did, my brother-in-law, who was one of the men in black, very unassuming fellow, Filipino, by the way, always wore 1960s high water pants, black lace shoes, a thin black tie, black horn-rimmed glasses, and drove a dark blue or black Chevy Malibu, and yet he was SPY. And yeah, so I had two brother-in-laws that were in the intelligence field, and they used to laugh about everything they knew that the average person didn't know. But Robert told me one time when I told him how sick I was getting, he said the next time the cat lady has one of them kick the bucket, he said, don't bury the cat, take it to a doctor and have it autopsied. So that's what I did. I took the cat to a doctor, and he put a syringe in the cat's belly and pulled out all this white liquid. And what's up, Jared? How's Colorado? Colorado, my home, doing? So the doctor said, well, your house is just full of parasites and everything in your house contaminated. He said you got to do a parasite cleanse, leave your house, leave all your belongings. This is tonight's topic. Nematodes found in dogs and transferred to people who are doggy kissers. So the crazy cat lady and I were having dinner one night, and we went to watch a movie, and I popped in a tape into the VCR, and as the tape went into the machine and loaded, all of this cat piss gushed out of the machine. It was ruined. And so that was that for me. That was that. So, yeah. So I went to the hobby store. I got a $25 college microscope, and I put my saliva, piddle, everything on different slides. And I had looked at them, and lo and behold, there were these things in various stages: egg form, larva, pupa, all that other stuff. And worms, many worms are what's called asexual. They look under a microscope like a belt with these two dots, and they can reproduce themselves. And man, oh man, do they. And they just drain your strength and give you diarrhea and symptoms: diarrhea, fatigue, sleeplessness, grinding your teeth, headaches, pruritus, which is your itching butt and itching mouth and nose and belly button, because the parasites get right around there. They want to look outside. They want to look and see what's going on in the world. You know, check it out. And if you really got them bad, you can pull your eyelid down and see them crawling across your eyeball and that kind of deal. So, nasty little things. Nasty. And fam, you don't ever want to have a child's sandbox outside, and especially let your little girl play in a sandbox, because the cats will use it overnight as a litter box, and then your child will sit in that sand, and the worms will go up into their private parts. I'm not going to go further into it. And if you have a dog or a cat that's scooching along the carpet with its butt on the carpet, using your carpet as toilet paper, and you walk on that carpet barefoot, those worms go into the soft part underneath your toes, and that's how they get into your body there. So, yeah. Uh, let me see. So a good parasite cleanse that I used to do. I'm not giving medical advice, but I used to take a product called Paragon, Paragone, or I would use Hulda Riga Clark's formula of cloves, bitterroot, and black walnut tincture. And if you ever try something, I saw a bodybuilder took a great big gulp of this stuff. Whenever you try something like that, you want to try it as far away from taking your normal medicine as possible. You know, like for example, I take my blood pressure and heart medicine every 4 hours. So that means that if I try anything new, I try the new stuff in a 2 hour window when the other stuff is worn off. You don't mix stuff. Like my sister, who will take a whole handful of stuff together at one time, and she's a nurse, and she said, well, the stuff knows where to go. That's ridiculous. That's a good way to poison yourself. So, and you can get some of these nematodes via city water. You know, when you have a storm and the sewer plant overflows, and that stuff comes through your tap. So I always filter my tap water, and then I run the tap water through my Mr. Coffee with the paper filter, and boil the crap out of that water, and then drink it over coffee or let it cool down and drink my water. So, and PopPop is 70 years old, and PopPop only drinks coffee in the morning, and then I drink water during the day, tea in the afternoon, and I think that I'm going to go back to. Drinking an ounce or two of red wine at night in order to sleep better and all that other stuff. Because ironically, when you're bedridden, you have problems sleeping. So, I just had my dinner, so I'm going to take my vitamin. One a day, 65 plus. That's what I take. I take half of one, because when you take the whole one, it just goes right through your gut in one piece. And literally half is better than whole because it absorbs better, and you're taking just enough. So, and I have my piece of silver. In a bottle of water. It's a clean piece of pure silver, and that will make anything that's in the water that's not supposed to be there die. So I gotta take my garlic pill with that notification on that phone. You don't miss that. So, in any case, I went to the hobby store and I bought a $25 microscope and I put all of my stuff on slides, took it to my doctor, and she said, yeah, you got parasites. That was about 20 years ago. And parasites can live in your system for as long as like 40 years. Okay. And this is electrolyte solution. So PopPop is good to go for like another 2 hours so we can hang out and chat. And by all means, uh, definitely say hi. So, Jared, for some reason I thought your last name was Vogel. I don't know why, but I thought your last name was Vogel. Nature and science photographer David Maitland took the microscopic pictures that reveal tapeworms, roundworms, other creepy parasites that live in cats, magnified up to 180 times. Yuck. Yuck. And they grab onto your gut from the inside and suck you dry. And another way you can work to get rid of them is to eat a few pumpkin seeds every day. And the pumpkin seeds kind of scrape through your intestine and scrape these things off the walls of your intestine. And you can eat a pineapple on an empty stomach before a meal and do a couple of pineapples over a couple of weeks. It's got to be fresh pineapple, but I have to warn you, if you only complete part of the cycle and you, for example, do a pineapple cleanse and you're unsuccessful, you can wind up with irritable bowel syndrome. You can wind up with irritable bowel syndrome. And that means you're going to be crapping all over the place, or you're going to be constipated with horrible stomach pain. And if you do Dr. Clark's cleanse, you don't want to do the liver cleanse because, and there's a guy on the internet now that's pushing the liver cleanse. He calls it a diabetes cleanse. And what it is you, they take Epsom salts and, oh gosh, let me see what it is. It's some combination of like olive oil, Epsom salts, and then like grapefruit juice. Now, I differ from other people. I don't believe that gallstones are made in the gallbladder. The gallbladder is just a balloon at the end of a vessel. I believe that gallstones are made in the biliary tubing of the liver. That's my personal belief. And I believe that gallstones are your liver's way of encapsulating bad things and calcifying them to keep them from harming your body. That's my personal belief. I'm not going to argue with anybody about it. That's just, I've dealt with that for years. If you have a gallbladder attack, I went to Houston's restaurant in Rockville, Maryland, years ago, I had a Sunbelt salad with garlic buttermilk dressing and cheese and bacon bits. Then I had a loaded baked potato with cheese and bacon bits and butter and sour cream. Then I had uh, this marvelous soup, taco soup that they used to make, and a cup of coffee. And for dessert, Malik, I ain't Cletus. I ain't your Cletus, so knock it off. And for dessert, I had hot fudge brownie with vanilla ice cream. So I'm walking back after my $35 executive lunch. I'm walking back to my block-long Olds Tornado with the color TV and the private telephone in it, which back then was a big deal in the 70s. And I thought somebody jacked me in the parking lot and stabbed me in the back. And it was a gallbladder attack. It feels like you getting stabbed and your heart at the same time. So I went to let me see, the hospital in Bethesda, the closest hospital, and that was early in the morning. Then at 1 o'clock the next morning, they took the gallbladder out, took it out. It was as big as a grapefruit, full of gallstones, and essentially they had to cut my belly open like a C-section to take that sucker out. It was that big, full of gallstones. And I had a problem with bilirubin, which was probably a gallstone stuck in a bile duct. It's called bilirubin. And so I had the operation. And then by the next afternoon at 4, the hospital said, well, your insurance won't cover any more stay. You got to go. I was like, are you kidding? And I was really, really sick. And they didn't give me any antibiotics or anything. And I was getting sicker and sicker to where I was seeing stars. And I got in the car and I would drive a quarter mile, then park. Drive a quarter mile, then park. And my pastor said she needed me to pick up her blood pressure medicine so she wouldn't have a stroke. So I went to the CVS and I'm standing at the counter and literally stars are flying by. And I told the person at the counter that I was getting ready to faint. But I toughed it out very foolishly, got back in the car, got the medicine to my pastor and went home. And then I took a boatload of Cipro, which will knock out anything. And I'm here today to tell the tale. And no, I'm not giving any medical advice. But people do DIE from gallbladder problems. So you want to take it seriously. So that was that. But you don't want to do that flush. You want to be very careful doing that flush that the guy is advertising on the internet, because, like I said, if a gallstone sticks in a duct, then you are going to have a trip to the hospital. Malik, this is what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about parasites and how all the dog kissers are exposing themselves to parasites. So, and this one is called Diplydium tapeworm. Diplydium. And, yeah. Look at the red eyes on that parasite. That's a cat parasite. All you people that are letting cats kiss on you and put their kitty litter paws up around your mouth, and especially you people that say a cat or a dog is a brother or sister to your little baby. No. A baby is a human. A dog or a cat is an animal. Animals are not your brother and sister. They're not human. All that crap, that flaky crap, started recently within the past couple of decades. My generation, we didn't go in for that stuff. So, tapeworms can grow up to 16 feet inside dogs, roughly the height of a giraffe. Hook into the lining of the pet's bowels and develop long ribbon bodies. There's a video on the internet of a bear with a tapeworm, and it's dragging the tapeworm out its butt like 10 feet. So it causes a variety of illnesses. Some people even think that diabetes could be caused by a parasite infection of the Isles of Langeron in your pancreas. So, this is Scolex. That looks like something off of one of those Transformer movies. Scolex. So, tapeworms and roundworms can cause serious damage to a child's eyesight. Hookworms live in the digestive systems of pets, and this is what I already told you, can infect humans by penetrating the skin, most likely through the feet. That's when your dog or your cat has scooted across your carpet, wiping his butt on your carpet, using it as toilet paper, and then you walk on that carpet barefoot, you get the worms through your underside of your toes. So, this is a metastatoad tapeworm called Cisterius fasciculus. Cisterius fasciculus. It's got suckers. And I'll tell you, I guarantee you that those of you that eat at places with that pre-digested hamburger meat, and you get the hamburger and it's almost cold, you're getting exposed to that too. Dr. Maitland, who's based in St. Andrews, Scotland, worked with pet deworming treatment brands Drontal and Drone Spot to create the images. That means they gave the pets a parasite cleanse and they pooped out all these worms. The photography project came about after Drontal's and Drone Spot's research revealed that 8 in 10 cat owners don't know how often to worm your cats. The medication treatment brands recommend worming them monthly, depending on whether your cat is an indoor cat or an outdoor cat. See, my mother My mother made my whole family sick when I was a kid because she fed the cat on the same plate she fed us, and she put the cat food outside on the porch. So the cat would eat some of it, and then the flies would come down and lay eggs in the cat dish. Then she would take the dishes every few days and put them in the sink to soak with no Clorox or anything, and then wash our dishes along with the cat dishes. And she came up with a perpetually sick family. Also, the fact that she had a coffee can on the sink that she poured bacon grease into, and she left that out on the counter unrefrigerated. Yeah. And fam, if you're there, give me a like, a comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And let me see what else. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. It's talking about how they got the pictures of the worms, you know. Who cares? Each kind of worm spends its whole life attached to the inside of the pulsating gut of the animal, holding on with circles of hooks and suckers. Uh, and then Dr. Maitland said he was so pleased that they look alien and they take on a real personality, blah, blah. Uh, and in Africa, people get jiggers in their feet. They're these nasty burrowing worms, and they have to be dug out of the person's foot with the scalpel. And it's a worldwide problem. Yeah. So anyway, that's why you shouldn't let your dog or cat give you doggy or kitty kisses. So this smartphone is an old Motorola, almost 10-year-old smartphone, and it was very expensive at the time. And it came with 4 gigs of memory, a basic memory, storage, which for the time was unheard of. And it still kicks butt today. And the BIOS allows it to read up to Android 11, which is fantastic. And it's just been a great performer, except the screen is too short. And some applications, it won't let you click the button down at the bottom. But in any case, it says people addicted to soda is no longer considered safe. And I guarantee you that if Big Mike gets back in office, we're going to have schools go right back to having carrot stick lunches and no chocolate milk and all of that. So, I'm just seeing what's up there. Oh, now on top of having a bread recall, an egg recall, a milk recall, and a canned coffee recall, and an ice cream recall. Bread, eggs, milk, coffee, ice cream, four of which are staples. The Agriculture Department has issued recalls on those five products, one of which is my beloved Schwann's Food ice cream. Schwann's is now called Yellow. Let me see what it says about dog food and cat food recall. A nationwide recall has been issued by online pet food subscription site Viva Raw for several of its products having bacterial contamination. Okay. And I guarantee you that those companies that are giving your animals raw human food, you know, I guarantee you that that is food that they got secondhand from some sort of source, you know, of leftover food, and then they grind it up in a food processor, you know, whether it's eggs and carrots and chicken parts and stuff, you know, from a restaurant or wherever. Maybe a buffet, like a big buffet restaurant, like that huge one in Pennsylvania. You know that place has got to have a lot of food scraps. So they're probably buying it from a place like that and then putting it in a food processor, grinding it up, reselling it secondhand as animal food. So, and it's talking about washing your vegetables. Uh, New proof of aliens, the strongest sign yet of aliens. So, life changing underwear. We won't click on that. So, what's up, Marquez? How are you doing? A woman got a dresser out of the trash and she took it home. It's one of those clickbait articles. It's not going to tell you what it had in it, whether it was cockroaches or money. But oh, okay. So this lady got a dresser out of the trash off the sidewalk, took it home to clean it up and paint it. When she felt around, it had a box with precious stones worth more than $3,000. And she's an idiot because now that she's made this article, you can bet your bazooty that somebody's going to lay claim to that $3,000 and sue the woman. So, but they threw the dresser out. They threw the dresser out in the trash. So at that point, you know, it's finders keepers. In the old days, you would buy a piece of furniture and it would have a scroll down the side, and you would pull the scroll out and put things like money and silver and wheels and stuff like that in the scroll. So, restaurant sues customer over a $3,000 waitress tip left on a $13 meal. Uh, so I did that one time. I used to go to this restaurant, and the lady needed a new color TV, and I bought her a real nice color TV, and I told her that was going to be her tip for a while. That's not that unusual. People will give their waitress a car and then tell the girl, that's going to be it for a while. So, anyway, the tip story is too long and involved. Authorities, coming July 1st, it says authorities are going to crack down on existing laws. That means they're trying to squeeze more money out of you. You know, they're just trying to squeeze more money out of you. And here's another recall. More than 4 million pounds of chocolate have been recalled due to salmonella. So we have chocolate, ice cream, bread, milk, eggs, canned coffee. That's 6 items that have a recall. Do you think they're trying to tell us something? So, uh, all right. McDonald's is bringing a global fan favorite to the U.S. for the first time, and that's mozzarella sticks and Coke floats. And fam, that's nothing new. You can buy an ice cream sundae. It used to be $1 for an ice cream sundae. Now it's like $3.50. I'm pulling my blanket up because the air conditioner has stuck on the on position and decided to freeze me out. So yeah, you can make your own Coca-Cola float at McDonald's. Just get a big Coca-Cola and dump your ice cream in it. I mean, so anyway, it says that United States McDonald's customers are jealous of the rest of the world. There's nothing to be jealous of. You just take your cup, fill it up with Coca-Cola, dump your ice cream in it. I'm like everybody else. I like to get a chocolate shake and put my fries in the chocolate shake and eat it together, you know? And this is nothing new. A lady trying to use $100 bill at one of the big box stores, and they turned it down. Fam, they do not want you using cash. They do not want you using cash. And it's going to be like India, where there's going to be no large bills pretty soon. So, And then everybody is talking about that disaster of a debate that Uncle Joe had, and they're calling it a democratic coup because they say that they really didn't prepare him for the debate because they want him to crash. So, fam, don't get all wigged out. Don't get all wigged out about this election. It's not going to make any difference at all. It's not going to make any difference at all because the train is too far off the tracks. Canadian Prepper has a new video. I like Nate's channel, except he's an Israel basher and an atheist. So he'll find out at his last heartbeat whether there is a God or not. Of course, we know that there is, but he overthinks everything, and he uses these incredibly, insanely complicated words, I guess, to justify himself, if you can call it that. But yeah. Like a doctor, when a doctor wants to scare you, instead of just saying that you have a stomach ache, he'll put it in a way to scare you. So, wow, nobody else is coming up with new video yet. Shango 066 has a new video. He's very eclectic. He's got that Paul Lynde accent, and he makes baby jokes. He makes baby jokes, which I'm not really into. So sometimes he'll have a baby hanging on a string on his channel. I think people said something to him about that because he hasn't done that in a while. Grand Supreme News has got a new video. Luis Santiago, excellent channel. If you go there, please be polite because Luis has a speech impediment, and I'm sure he's been teased about it for most of his life. So just be polite, please, if you go there. Hungry Fat Chick. Let me see. Hungry Fat Chick. I haven't seen Candy in a while. And she's got an Italian feast video. And it's only food for about 4 people. So Candy must not be feeling well. Candy Godiva. She used to make porno vids, and fat fetish vids. So I don't watch her very much anymore. I like to watch Tom Cote at Watchman River. I like to watch NY Prepper. I like to watch Angry Prepper. I like to watch Canadian Prepper. Let me see. Luis Santiago at Grand Supreme News and Real GS News. I like to watch Gravitas Wehan, news from India because they don't have a reason to lie like our news media does. And I like to watch Amir Sarfati, Behold Israel. So that's pretty much the channels that I follow. In any case, if you want to help out my channel, my PayPal link is in the description box, as also is my Amazon link. And again, thank you to Laura for the diapers and to Matt Lyons for the TENS unit and Justin Johnson for the jingling he sent me. So I appreciate it. Regular contributors are Katrina and Terry, Dibble Craftian, Jonathan Brown. So I got a lot of fam and support, and I'm grateful for it. If you want to support a really good charity, go to Meals on Wheels of Central Maryland and click the donate button. You can start with $5 on up. They're really appreciative. They bring meals to old people and shut in, and they shuttle handicapped people. I mean, they got it going on as far as all the stuff that they're helping people with. Meals on Wheels of Central Maryland. Tell them old PopPop sent you. And encourage somebody today. It's a rough world now. And we're only going to get through it if we help each other out. PopPop's out. I love y'all.